so then, acting as if he knows what is going on with her dementia problems, he asks for her to come by his office. Well, against her better judgment, she has to, because she still lives under her mom's roof, and her mom demands that she goes to this meeting, to this appointment. Well, going into his office, she sees that he's got tons of books, you know, and then like some spell casting books and stuff. And then he starts asking very, very close to reality questions about the time period, the actual house, the neighborhood, the city, and then she realizes he might actually be somebody that's from that place, like it's a permanent crack in reality, and this person is not who they seem, but not in a good way. She's scared, so she ends up leaving and makes up an excuse and leaves. Well, the boy, obviously crushing on her, stops her in school and says basically, you know, I want to see you. I'm sorry about, I was drunk, and he apologizes for being very, very forward in the car. He's not even mad at her, because she's just that beautiful. Well, in the midst of all of this, it goes into the other world where it shows this woman at the mansion with this guy. And she slaps him and basically leaves the mansion in his personal car, which is a Rolls Royce, older, set in time older, and she drives into the city, and nobody knows why, but it shows them back at the school, Kate making out on the side of the school area, and then basically goes into, well, first they're talking, actually. First they're talking, and before she's kissed him, and then it goes back to where this woman went into the city, and she's talking at a bar with some guy that looks dangerous. I mean, he looks menacing, very large in size, and she wants him to kill her husband. And then that's when the guy says, yeah, okay, I'll do it, you know. And he makes the time up on when he's going to be there, you know, and they make the scheduling set. Well, not her husband. He's actually having an affair with this girl. They're not husband and wife. That's the guy's mistress. That's what I meant to say. And she follows him most everywhere. But it's a personality swap whenever it happens. It has a lot to do with spell books and enchantments. But basically, somehow in her dimension, she found out just by natural birthright that she could do crossovers by just passion alone. And this neighborhood acts as though they've seen this over the years, and the people that cross over carry a certain amount of personality types. And whenever there's a swap, other women's consciousnesses go into the other world. And so this woman is extremely angry. And so basically, that's right. So this is what I mean about how I have to think it over so that I get all the facts right. And so it's been a while since I remember it. Okay. Right. Okay. So this woman is the town witch mistress, and she knows that every time this other woman is crossing over that there's a personality differential, and that because she's a medium of sorts, she can actually view that the real wife is going into her dimension. And so she's a passover, so that when they touch each other, she can give her a window into what's really going on. And based on that, and also the fact that she's sleeping with the guy, the love triangle alone is causing jealousy within the witch herself. And so she's now decided, out of anger alone, because the guy's oblivious, she just doesn't think that he deserves any of it. And plus he's falling in love with this girl because, she can just see it. And so she starts making plans. And so, anyways, that's at the point when Kate in her dimension is making out with this football player. And, well, when he goes in to kiss her, she stops him. And he goes, "Come on." And then all at once she just kisses him really hard back, because she has developed feelings for this other guy. He's got a very nice house. She's falling in love with him. And so when she goes back this time, they have a really good time. And they go out on a really nice dinner date. And he takes her out and they go to this really nice restaurant. And as the night progresses and they finish dinner, there's this singer that was basically captivating everybody the entire evening. Well, she leaves the microphone alone for only a moment, and Kate looks over and she looks back at her boyfriend and she goes, "Stay right here." And she leaves the table and walks up to the microphone. And with the entire restaurant full and staring at her, she sings a song. And the whole entire room is basically brought to tears as she sings to her boyfriend. And the woman is there. And there's also a bad guy. And Kate, after the song is finished, she goes and sits back down. And the man just so happens to he has a ring, and he pulls it out, and it was the exact same time, like he was falling for her, and so he has a ring. And so, well, then after he wants to get married, they go into this dance, and this other woman has now taken the stage again. She's in a different gown than the first gown. She's in a different gown now. And that's when Kate and this man basically start slow dancing, and then they kiss, and then they slow dance, and this woman is glaring at her, and this man who was sitting in his seat isn't sitting in his seat anymore. And when they leave into the parking area, they're attacked. And her boyfriend is in this really bad brawl with this man, this huge guy. But he's not what he seems either. He was strong in build in the first place, and basically punches the guy many times in the face, cracking his face open. And blood is pouring on the ground from this bigger guy just hunched over. And the entire time, her boyfriend had a gun in his pants in the back, but he never had time to go for it. And while the guy is hunched over just bleeding, he pulls out this gun, and it's a double-barreled hand-sized shotgun, very rare but expensive. And he says, "Look at me when I'm about to kill you." And the guy, just from reaction, looks up, and then his head blows off. And Kate you hear her gasp, and then she runs over to her husband, soon-to-be husband, and gives him a hug. Well, when she and him are now laying down there, they go back to his mansion, and they have sex again. This time they're not alone, and there's another woman in the house. And, well, when she lays down to go to sleep, she tries not to because she doesn't want the night to end. And when she goes to sleep, she passes back into the other world. Frustrated at this, she wakes up in her bed with her teenage life. Angry, she spends the rest of the day trying to think about, how can I get there? How can I stay there? And, well, she thinks the doctor was not what he seems. So she makes an appointment to see him, but it was in a week, and then she just rushes down to his office and then barges in and just says, "You are not," or "You know something about," and she knows what the town is called. She goes, "You know something about this city." And then finally he just pulls a wall away from the wall of books, and there's all of these pictures, and there's all of these books, and there's his wife. And then at the last second, after he's explained himself, he grabs her by the forehead, right? He just grabs her with the palm hitting her forehead, and then he just goes boom and hits it against the wall. And she dies, but by his divine measures, and she wakes up just in time because she's back at the mansion, and the guy the entire time was in a fight with this devilish woman who tried to kill him herself, and she gets there just in time and ends up getting in a fight with this witch, this seductive witch, and she finally ends up grabbing some glass that was broken on the ground, and she has it bleeding in the back of her hands, or she has it bleeding in her hands, and she grips it even tighter even though the blood is dropping. And that's when the girl goes like this, and she just goes right across the throat, and then just blood just squirts out, and then she just falls down, both knees hitting and then face hitting the ground. And that's when lightning strikes again outside the window, and she drops the glass and then walks over to her husband and throws her arms around him, and then the music starts and the credits. And it's called My Dementia, starring Kate Vogel.